Oh,
2012.
Oh, it's just combined.
So I would look at
this one, you want to see if there's any differences in the years. You see something that's like abnormal, like HVAC repair 70,000 and 40,000, so there's something that happened in the power replacements. And then, annual numbers, we're going to divide it by 12 months. I'm going to show you what it is.
Going up here, let's push this desk out this way and I'll go back to the other side. I can get over there.
Yep.
Does that make sense? What do you
Yeah.
want?
I would head it just the same thing except for not just for January, we're gonna do January to December 24th.
I just didn't know. Like, I made a new sheet just for him, and I put formulas, stuff like he's just crazy.
This is gonna help us a lot. This is show you what you're gonna do. So I already did it, so.
We call it the same thing? Exactly.
So, you know, we're trying to create numbers. What I was trying to point out is that all these numbers are annual. Some stuff. I know that HVAC contract. So he can't just stay now. He wants to do 12-month projection.
I mean, this has it all broken out. This has it all broken out. All the expenses.
There's no debt.
This is these reports were division.
Probably this final quality.
Yeah, this just goes to debt.
Basically, your first line will be the whatever for the revenue was.
No, I mean, I've
So forget all this? Yeah, I mean, I would, this is the total income, you know what it is. Gave it to you.
Figure out the way.
These are the, yeah, administrative expenses, and then he basically, I think this was just the, yeah, the element.
once we get this.
Yeah, it's all the same thing, except he took out, except he just put it into this format. I would probably do it as I say.
Why don't you do it at the end, Mike? Where you put, subtract your final.
I mean, we already know the revenue.
Yeah, so from the revenue fund.
I mean, it's only one line item.
On a different file, like it's not on this one. It's not on any of these, right?
Yeah, let's grab.
Here.
I'll match up.
We can check, he walks around, we can check that number.
So these are all for the year, so you're gonna have to take the 12 by 12 for each month.
Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, no,
Competition.
He wants a monthly 12-month
It's
report.
by daily.
January
It's daily.
1st, 2004.
Project 365.
And you're gonna have your 12-month operating expenses, so you're gonna have to do January 2014,
Yeah, when
these
you
expenses, so from January 2000, so it was 1940.33 for the year, divide that by 12, so you're gonna.
So we now do the
Operating. Yeah.
I don't know what you did.
But you're gonna use the information that you have in here, because it gives you, you know, for annual, divided by 12 for all of them, it'll give you it for each month.
You want to just go clarify that with him, that the actual, the finished product is 12-month projected operating
You
statement.
have to do it daily.
Right? It's a final product, right? 12-month projected.
12 month, yeah. But make sure that some of these might be broken in quarterly or semi-annually.
No, everything in the P and L will be annual.
Annually, unless it states somewhere else.
Okay, back to work.
Let's try it. What's our top line on, for this?
Administrative expenses.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's like a category.
So we
Pull down,
Yeah.
it's advertising and promotions. So there is no, the
There's no
administrative,
correlation with this.
it's a category.
Okay, well, let's take, let's
Yeah.
give you.
Right, you know what the
I wouldn't
one
think
center
that
is?
you wanted to-
Which one?
How?
No.
Okay, so,
Landscaping.
on average, let me ask you a question. You got a wife? Something like that. Kids? Something like that.
What?
Imagine it's January first. You know, you have a job? You know what you're gonna make, more or less. You can estimate. There's no.
I would add another row, I would put a row in there and have the
You got
expenses
expenses,
on one
right?
column. And then I
Your
would
wife
break
has
down each
expenses,
month.
kids have expenses, there's house expenses, right, car, right? How would you estimate on January first, where you're gonna wind up at the end of the year? Or whether you can cover it or not? Where would you start?
It's because I was at work and for like, I used to, I have the amount, but I don't have the USB.
Some of these things that we
Because at work, they
divide out, so look at the.
I keep a mouse in my purse.
Divide out 12 months, so some of these things.
Because at work, I'm not made fun of.
Some of these things we might just incur at one particular time in the month.
Yeah.
Like, because try building a Blackboard.
Like another, for instance,
That I
if you're
tried
showing
to prove my point, and I failed, and then there's never line up.
Yeah, I can see.
That's gonna be a one-time fee.
So like, let's look at all of the service
So,
things.
Yeah, and see how they're broken into months.
Hey Tyler, you just like piggybacking on what the other P2 are doing?
No, he's trying to.
No,
he's
I'm
trying
she's
to
getting a mouse.
I'm trying to help.
If you're the,
He was trying to save the day.
Taxes.
One day.
Taxes, right?
it's the one day to bring my bag. I have my
Okay,
bag
so
in
let's
the
go start off with those.
Got it.
And then check. So tell me what the time, right, I'll check. So I'll probably have to.
Alright, let's see. So we have, we're gonna have all of these.
The beauty
So-
also we need.
So this is what you said, property taxes are gonna be reassessed at the end, so it's like, you keep 2013 numbers.
We have one.
You know, it's 347, 707.
Didn't we like add like a?
Yeah, no, what's the total compensation?
Yeah.
We were trying to make
It's a great number.
So in
number in there, that's
when
where
we
it's
did-
number from.
I mean, 347, 707, you would say January is when you're assessed, but then you're gonna be, it's gonna be an operating expense each month.
No,
This number
not the
means a
tax.
lot.
If you want to pay that one time, please.
Okay.
So I like that, I like that.
And you would.
Taxes, we understood something about, there's a little bit of a number, like a little inflation on it.
Is this the format? And we spread it out for the ones that show like what all these expenses on the side.
Could be, I mean, it's not what somebody would understand.
Right, because again, the final product is just the operating expenses for the 12-month based on what we see.
But sounds like it would, sounds like you're on the right path, yes.
question.
Something about 3% sometimes used. It's
I
gotta be reassessed.
didn't say it, I said that was a particular thing I talked about, I think we need to contemplate that a little bit more. I'm not gonna give you an answer on that. But you're thinking in the right path.
Okay.
So what's the number?
477 operating expenses.
So you start with, there's a category, so administrative, and then, are they the same? That's what you have here, oh, it's kind of that, so the first one we have.
Insurance. There's only one folder, but it's broken into two sub items.
Let's use that.
131.
Yeah.
131.
What's the
178, yeah.
So these are, looks like.
Insurance as well?
It was property insurance is the main title and then insurance.
Why did I do all that work?
I would just do an indentation over it. And then attach it.
Yeah, that's it, that's a.
This is just kind of those.
These are both of these, but.
Yep, so we don't.
So we have.
Why are you creating a spreadsheet when I already sent you
So
one?
let's use, so when I'm reviewing this.
It's not edible, but edit.
I hope it's not edible.
No, not. English wasn't my first language either.
Yep.
See, so you can write.
This goes to carry this one.
Try to get on it.
That'd be added.
I know that Nova's terrible.
I can't get on this, I'll do this like right at the very end.
So what's that?
I'm probably good enough.
That's it, so we're, as we go down, this will look the difference, so hopefully.
Should that, this number,
I thought it was a
down, this number right here is just, this number right here.
I got it here.
And then you're just.
Just got forward to my email.
I have.
Can you forward it to me?
Alright, CC, alright, so bank
CC
service
bill.
charges,
Want that one?
credit last year's.
I just sent it.
Maybe we can apply, we're not gonna reject that category, it's not really rejected. So we'll go licenses and fees, this number will go right now. Use this, our white, and there you go, so we can follow it on the page. Alright, so licenses, permits, so we can do averages.
This one here, Mike?
Right.
Yep.
Do we want to write down?
Download it, copy it.
That way.
Oh, I got it.
I'd be able to edit right in.
Yeah, no, it's.
I was like, that.
You're like that.
And then I'm.
Oh, you're working on it from Google Docs.
And then you go back to it.
What we're including.
I mean, I can do that first.
I did them somewhere else.
Alright, let's do that.
Okay, so it's all compliant now, yeah. So you have 13.
I mean, we can do that.
I think unless there's like a crazy spread, that we can rationalize.
Listen, they increased by so much.
Oh, you're saying from 2012? Yeah.
Can you see how many they had?
Yeah.
So like.
Between the two and then add that.
Hang on, I'm trying to hear. I think it works. Yeah, I just didn't contribute. I don't want the whole report to be off.
You can buy it back.
Like, I didn't want you to be
So if it's thirty,
Thank you, thank you.
expenses, you have like 259, so.
No, I see what you're saying. He's saying
Fund the
that we
average,
average.
the difference in this case, though, is the advertising promotion considerably went down.
So there, I mean, there's the variable expenses like these are gonna be hard to do. So you almost wanna, if you're budget, you want to build a reserve, you either take the higher one or you take an average.
Well, I get this, advertising and promoting is more predictable. Obviously.
Just, I don't wanna get too stuck on it.
Yeah.
Should we give you an answer? What do you think?
2013 is lower.
What are they saying?
12.
This is all right.
That's not what we.
They should take the one difference.
Let's try it this way, because you're taking a conservative approach, right?
Okay.
If this one's higher, then it goes down higher, maybe, unless you want to just add there.
And then
I think on a personal level, would you
A little bit more.
Unless you have to budget every year for yourself? How do you do it?
Well, I'm gonna throw one more thing out that really makes it useful.
Match up down.
It's gonna be, if we do this,
Yeah, I think you gotta look at last year's and then.
well, you would say, we're trying to do average of the 2 years, and maybe you had a 3% increase in those expenses.
What would you do in your house?
That's what I
Like, what would you tell your wife to budget? She spent like
you're not going to the mall.
$18,000 in purses last year.
Walking your.
I mean, you could take these two at the average of it.
I mean, that, I mean, you will get a mathematical answer with that. That's the best thing you can present to the class, then you go with it.
Alright,
I mean, you're competing here.
I know, there's one.
That is one way to do it, yes.
Numbers in here. Yeah, I just,
But it's easier.
if we have it next to it.
These two average, 3% off is 23.16.
Did we do 2013 and then 2013 as square foot? Or do you
No, I mean, I don't know, I mean, that's easy to do again, right?
Like material, that's a little higher than mine.
What if we
I
talk
think
about,
these two
what if we talk
averages
about
times
flat
by
dollars?
You start with
Is where I did the second one.
you do a little highlight on it, you say, look, we're projecting annual.
Did you just tell us that it was supposed to be said? No, we just want to.
Yeah, let's figure out the
Yeah,
presentation.
Just wanted to make sure we're going on that basis.
Yeah, so I presented.
What's your number?
23.16.
So
Basically, these two
what's the
numbers
function you use? Just erase out the top. How do you?
equals references that number?
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, what do you mean, like,
Divided by 12?
yeah, that would be each one.
Alright.
But the thing is that some of these are going down.
This one's administrative expenses. Equals.
Actually, most of them so far coming down.
Maybe we should just use 513.
I thought there was something in
Average.
Less than an hour.
Alright.
What's our reasoning?
Well, you have to make sure that this is the same, like it's in quotations.
Tyler, you live in Naples? So you come out here every weekend?
Isn't it like a number sign, number?
And that keeps, that keeps that static.
Yeah, but it's increasing on this time.
She's in Naples like 30 years.
If you're continuing to,
You have really good vision.
It's beautiful. I've only been there twice. It's very, the alligator
Wearing on you. We had a student, Rob was in your group, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Rob, he used to come from, Sanibel, in Furley.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, just sort of,
It's not that bad. I mean, I'm getting used to it. I mean, it's just getting on the road.
A friend of mine got a fair bit, they have a fair bit of work out
Next one?
have I had any promotions?
in the Naples area.
No.
he he's cut back on it, but he was going 3 days a week. And he's got kids, so he
That first one have that promotion.
I'll come back every day.
They should expenses in the neighborhood, advertising and promotions this one.
Add the reimbursement.
You guys no longer have Friday night classes?
No.
See that?
That's what I thought we were gonna do when I originally signed up for the program.
You should. That was,
The numbers-
although through the spring we had that, and that,
How'd that change the times for today?
So bring that over.
it wouldn't change your time, it changes my time. Which means I teach all day now,
Advertisement and
as opposed to
promotions.
teaching from 8 to 12 or from 1 to 5, which is palatable.
Advertisement.
This is, I mean, I drive home.
That's
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying, is the alligator alley at 8 o'clock, I'm like,
There's nothing.
oh my god, I
there's no
can't wait
numbers
for
on
my
it.
couch, yeah. And then tomorrow is spend money football.
Yeah, you're like, you're
That's
fried.
what
That's my detox.
Alright, that's what I did. This is our,
Any thoughts to hurry it up if you can?
all we have to do is watch.
I mean, you think,
And then all we have to do.
You wanna do it?
No, there's nothing else we can do.
So let's try it. Our window thing, we don't have bank service charges. I don't wanna put credit in, but. see,
Let's break it up. We're gonna keep the same format the whole time.
yeah,
Or you'll- you
start
take-
working on the last one.
Bank and service charge.
So zero.
Yeah, we're with zero in there.
Okay, licensing permits, are we averaging?
Yeah, it'll pop up right here, so I just go.
14, 20, and 230.
1165. 1165.
And then it just goes. Okay. 5.
Just keep them then, right? Only those that we want to make sure where this comes off.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I really is.
It's a negative 1616, but I don't,
I'm drawing it now.
Yeah. I don't know if we're gonna sub
I
categories.
mean,
So what?
it's not a great
what's the
projection, so
number?
you got bad,
You want to
negative.
sub categories?
Huh?
Oh,
It's
that's a good
1616, but it's a negative number.
So, you know, what would be helpful is that while 1 or 2 guys are doing one thing, somebody else is doing
Yeah.
something.
Mary, you'll take it from,
And we
Dividing this out into 12 as well?
yeah, divide by 12.
Yeah, helpful that while one person's doing one thing, the other one's doing another thing.
You think you might be a little faster than the other? Divide over.
Would add value or
Right now.
differentiate
Yeah,
our
yeah,
group from the
exactly.
others.
We're thinking through the process.
We're making sure.
And so I'll give both of your numbers, okay?
Yeah.
So you start from the bottom up?
Oh, really?
Instead of one guy working and the other 2 just watching what he does, maybe you guys start doing
Try
other
and bite
things that
back
might
a little on
be
it.
value added propositions to your presentation, so that you guys can win.
You wanna take it from? No, you take it from, let's get on the same page, so you guys aren't duplicating. It is the same person. I'm gonna take it from the buildings.
What is?
So go to the,
I'll work in the middle.
Way to
you
do
start
it.
from building supplies and go down. I'll take, you got this?
History may not repeat itself.
Here.
It's a pretty good indication.
I'll do, you do building
These are
supplies,
expectations.
down all the way to HVAC.
You do from,
You from administrator up to.
no, I'm gonna have,
All of them?
huh?
Yeah, you gotta separate it up, you gotta do the top part.
Alright, now you're confusing me. I don't understand.
You do up to building supplies.
Okay, well, go ahead and jump on that. So how would we know which one are we going to, let's say, so like we just dividing all into one?
Dividing into 131. Plus this number divided by 2.
So we need to incorporate this. His gave us
That's the average of the
the
last
price.
2 years.
Well, I mean,
Everything we do.
I mean, if we're gonna do it, we might as well do it all the same. So you would do, for instance, this one.
It would give you a cash on
Choose a number here, just
Yeah.
multiply by 3%.
how hard is that?
Divided by 12, now we come up with this number.
I don't know.
Well, it would just be our cash.
So it's 1.6.
Cashing, you know,
What's the average each week? Doesn't that sound right? It's the average of the last 11.
cash.
Is this one?
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Let me give you the numbers, and then you plug in and then you run it in. Yeah. But again, it may not be
Once a month, this number would
only be like on a particular month.
relevant.
I don't know what they're calling their recurring. Is it quarterly, monthly, semi-annual?
No, just put in the totals, right, and then we'll decide. Okay? 845?
Tell me what it is, 845?
Yeah.
0.76?
Annually.
So I'm gonna do average of 2 and multiply everything by 2.
But there's no expenses yet.
Yeah. Okay.
So give me, postage.
Postage is 216.41 and
I'm
216.
taking.
Oh, you just want.
Unless there's a big difference. I
Okay,
just
so
want
let's do
like-
262.34.
You don't need to do anything with
Tell, is that the next one?
I didn't- it doesn't
Is
play.
39, oh, no, I'm sorry, 349740. Administrative, you don't have, no, really, like sometimes out loud I am and I say it in my head the other way.
That's all.
So we don't know.
Excel can usually calculate things faster than a calculator.
You give me category, I'm good. Cross it off.
281,
That one,
281.
I don't have that here. Leave it.
Okay.
Right, we don't have anything.
Okay, so cleaning additional services,
Maybe we should just put a form.
664596.
Right.
Let me show you. You figure out which one should be paid when. And I will come and
Window
get.
cleaning, you don't have.
Okay, good, I have it in.
Oh, so put 2012, 2013.
Oh, yeah.
Do a
We
formula.
don't have any, want to put anything?
No.
I think that's a kind of a requirement, isn't it?
So why would they?
Maybe this is more, because maybe it got rolled into this cleaning contract, now they do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think you should put that in.
So I'll put a note about clean contract there. Yeah, that's fine. All right, what's our insurance?
Typically say.
Property insurance. Other insurance, we don't have anything for,
Yeah, that one.
landscaping additional services, $1,172.
But you gotta have that,
And that's pretty dramatic.
I wanna look at what other things they have landscaping on.
Just.
Landscaping contract, subcontract went up, minimal. It could have been that they did like a, like
So you
they
know,
had.
if you're
a-
2012, 2013.
You know.
Contract, this is.
Here,
So what's the, so
They.
Keep track of time, gentlemen.
bank services or?
45 minutes.
Advertising and promotion.
I would say the landscaping.
Landscape contract, we're
No, we're not- we're not
Additional
track of
services
time.
is- What time do we need to?
In
45 minutes.
Not bank service charges.
Yeah.
no.
All right, I'll highlight
like
this
some
one.
office
Got it.
supplies, it's office supplies.
I
So
got
did
the
you put in
contract.
You got license?
Did you put in
No, I got it.
additional
Okay.
services or not?
Yeah.
Office
I just
supplies,
put it on
131,
I
138.
highlighted it.
Yeah, I don't know.
2012,
Building supplies?
11157, 135.
Lease renew.
Now, that's a good idea, this is how can I do.
That's, I mean, but that again is something you don't budget for.
This number,
Unless you got leases.
plus this number.
What's that?
Additional elevator.
What do they keep going down instead if they have a contract?
Maintenance contract.
Like, so you wanna add multiple ones?
Yeah, add time to web pages,
See,
I would almost keep this just because it's a maintenance figure, so if you go under, you're okay. Alright, so let's do that. I'll keep it there. Elevator license.
You have the number, Tom? You need to set the price? Yeah.
See, now this is one that.
Okay, good, that works. Alright, we got it. Alright, postage, 260. 216. So 6'2", 134.
Landscape.
Is it a PDF or is it an Excel?
We can say we negotiate. Usually those contracts are always. Because they usually, they don't.
You mean on this?
Elevator inspections, maintenance, every month.
You want us to send that one to one?
It's all right. Elevator maintenance.
I don't know if you can copy it over, but.
31.
I sent you the one.
No, send me,
All attachments are on it.
Consider running a building with multiple tenants.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I didn't even see it.
That's your answer.
You know, you can draft it off.
That's what he was asking.
No, I know, but if
Oh, I
you
know.
highlight, you can pull that corner up, and it'll form a column.
Give me the expiration number.
29, 21, 95.
Monthly's usually
See if you
one.
can copy these. Just do one if you can do it.
Or what
If
do
you
you
can just
expect?
copy one of these.
Spreadsheet that applies to the back to highlight.
And then you go through, and then you'll say to the.
10, 6, 9.
Yeah, but it won't get to the right columns, will it?
HVAC
Yeah, that doesn't matter, we can still do it
You gotta
faster.
average that.
You're investing a tremendous amount of time.
Unless there
Something
was,
that's not gonna
is there
get
capital
faster than the answer.
expenditures for the replacements?
Do it this way.
Alright.
71, 4, 88, 9, and 39.
Postage, no, you have to question the form.
I'm gonna drag them over.
I want, okay, telephone.
32, 15, 60.
HVAC.
34.97.
So do you know how to use an adding machine?
Huh?
Don't you know how to use an adding machine?
Yeah.
Tenant.
Is there a story behind why you call it a gump? What is it, a gump?
A gonculator? No,
We're gonna send it, 661.
I must have heard that word.
I know that faster.
Yeah.
So.
I know,
think we should
sometimes
stop
there's
the
a story
bottom.
behind it.
No, there's no story
That's
behind that one, but what there is a story is that people don't know how to use adding machines anymore, you know?
I got one, it's really difficult.
Dude, it's like,
I watched another lady on here,
dude, yeah.
and I'm like, what?
Got out of college, they give you an ad, they give you a yellow pages, yeah.
I got, the lady actually bought me one, the lady bought me one, it's been sitting in like my desk, I've
There's
not.
a lady that, she's worked for me for years also. She's helping me in the office, and she's gone back to work with Davina, but she took her damn adding machine to the, like, everybody's laughing at her, and she's like,
They're great, I've seen them at work.
I need an adding machine.
I had to learn how to use one when I was in elementary school. And I find my house. My dad's an accountant, he goes to his office at his desk, and it was just like,
It's great when you
yep.
It being, close to halfway through your assignment, you should have gone beyond the conceptual stage, and you should be, pretty long, through the mechanical process, so you leave some time to the presentation.
So this is just a blank one.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is okay. Tenant reimbursement.
I don't even have that category. No, we basically can have it there and not put it in.
I have all my formulas in another sheet, and I spent time trying to study this thing. I have like, six.
With all this?
Oh,
no,
you like flag. You didn't say I wanted.
I'm starting at,
They wanted. the
personal
final
fees
thing.
going
How
down.
do you come up with your numbers? That was what they wanted, so I sent you, I cleared.
I don't understand.
I'm starting at personal fees, I'm doing the same thing here, doing a long hand, so once you put it in here, you can drag it across for 12 months.
But I had all the formulas, I mean, they.
How did you know it was his, because it had his name on it?
It-
What is the $500 number?
Yeah. So you project something and.
I mean, I can do that, I'm not just gonna sit there and say that.
I think whenever you stand back behind me.
Okay, I won't, I just, I'm just trying to see, I'm just trying to see what you're all doing, you know? That's what she said.
I don't know.
Where you been? We're done.
Very offensive. I like pastels.
And
It's,
our general.
I think,
That's not a
What I'm
pastel.
saying is, once you flag the one.
that we think we can tweak.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we can say that.
It's all in house and around there.
Do you know there's actually a solution if you make 2 columns?
I know, I already
You
saw
can
that.
actually, that was what I thought.
Yeah, some of
I
them,
thought
yeah.
I should have done that in the beginning. I didn't think we were gonna do 2.5.
Okay.
But we gotta go according to this, right?
Yeah. That's the way it wants.
Okay, we have M in our garage.
Yep, so
which
putting this
are
lease review by then.
What?
Repair, maintenance and repairs. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, maybe we must assume they did a lot of repairs in 2013, right?
yeah, it's just for me.
Depends on who we
Yeah, I'm looking at that. Are you looking at that as well?
Yeah. I mean, there were 2 losses for the tenant election reimbursement for the last 2 years.
Okay.
General maintenance.
Maintenance and repair generator.
Keeping this 305.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, marble. I think that's just like.
Plumbing.
Hi, goodness.
I knew you thought that.
I just feel like those kind of.
When you look at that, what you feel is this one should be paid at one particular.
We should have had like a, if they're more than 25% difference kind of a thing.
Off at a time per month, like.
I'm sorry, I'm like an accountant's
And then
daughter
what
and I
month
pretty
should
kind of
Yeah, I'm an accountant's daughter.
You have no idea what that's
But
like.
you'd have to have a dollar threshold and a percentage threshold.
I remember these conversations, so it's fun. Okay. I would say not,
So there's nothing there. No, you need something in there.
even though,
Yeah, no, that's something that's, they have trash uniform.
HCC contract, yeah.
No, I wanted to say they already have that.
Just so we can. Punching it in, but.
Maintenance and other repairs, if there's also other repairs.
Is there?
yes, very true.
The supply, that's
Repair windows that were washed in 2 years.
Alright, so this is,
And we're not budgeting any money next year.
We want-
alright, so what do we want to put in for repairs? Same as 23.
Yeah.
2,000 plus
2012.
20.
Signage.
So we don't worry about
Is this in regards to? No. But this is a cost associated with it.
Let's get them
Your
all.
new letters that you're putting on this one.
It's like a tentative. So we're not gonna add that fire, we're gonna put it into other.
Oh, then this here, this one.
Well, general talk about it.
We'll get added.
Yeah.
It goes up to the next 12. Trash.
You can see it's like on mine.
No, I'm saying, if it's
Small
higher,
percentage.
and if
It's
it's
a
higher.
small
Small
percentage.
percentage difference. Uniform.
Uniform.
You want average number.
I don't.
This is almost the same.
Alright, so I'll get 13.
47. Were you?
I don't think you're in.
I took 2 classes
I took like
They
6
didn't do it in
in office.
2013.
and then somehow I
Maybe
ended
the
up
other
going to
year.
get a master's in county after that. I was like, in June.
Yeah, maintenance and repairs,
I
we
never
do
thought
last
of
year.
that. Once it never crossed my mind, just one car.
I never wanted to do it, but I wanted to do real estate and market shit when I was in college.
But it should on that.
Miscellaneous expense, so I was like, my father's like, I was like, it's okay. Employee insurance.
That's employee other, I mean,
Go down.
550.
wow.
Seriously.
Do you wanna do the insurance? Or insurance, they didn't have any?
I feel like we should have a category.
Oh.
Oh, no.
What do you get that
These bonuses are probably paid at the end of the year.
I'm telling you, it's all right. It's all right.
We need to get rid of this, so we need
I know.
to fix it. Okay.
I also want to look at this and see if there's income items on just there that are on.
Okay, payroll maintenance
So we
engineer,
can
just
do
go with
this
the number
first.
45, 795, 72.
30 minutes?
Payroll processing fee, you can just go with the number 555, 62. Payroll taxes, 4,400.
So why look at these?
Workers' comp, 329. Where's it? Payroll expenses, other. Consulting fee. That's quite the swing.
I'm just gonna use 115 because what you're paying for consulting. I don't know, I just don't know what that would make up next year, right?
Legal
Yeah, but
fees,
the ones that are gonna
you wanna do
Yeah.
average or?
No,
15, 128, 73.
I'll average.
Okay, we'll go line by line. I mean, office supplies have a downtake of 3,000.
50.
Really have to hit all the
If
different
you're small
buttons.
increases, we just leave it.
6, 15 would be.
Remember you told me that
Management fee.
No.
Inflation.
You have to go to your formulas. I go here and you can see where you average. And just copy. But then it's gonna be more percent of the whole thing.
No, it's 4%.
25 minutes. Are you making out?
How much?
Oh, I see. Security monitoring. But do you have it?
That basically the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
51 down.
That's gonna drag that bad boy
Oh.
up.
See, I taught you something there.
I mean, I knew it
I had
did
to
that.
figure
Well, it's
something.
because he's an ex-someone.
Yeah, I know, me and you
So
were
I don't
just
have a
pros.
I mastered. I have a mastered so.
Who gave it to you?
Myself.
That's right.
My grandma did it, so I did.
Yeah, I'm
Okay, security
Yeah,
monitoring.
you have to do a couple of them, yeah.
No, it's not matter.
Security other.
Okay.
Okay, property taxes. Don't see that.
I like the sequence.
Wait, you don't, you can do 3% bump that doesn't use it.
So let's do,
3%, everything's on 3% increase.
oh, I didn't know you guys.
Yeah.
Well, I should go back, we go see right now, let's get though, I mean, somebody's already working on it.
Oh, times 1.03.
I mean, there's not a big difference.
Okay.
They have to figure their monthly,
Property
and they have to figure that every year they're gonna save costs. I mean, if there's nothing big jump like 32, 34,
7,
7, also it's gonna be the same. So I would budget the same amount, I would check budget.
Electric.
288. But it's like when you,
Tenant
633,
reimbursement.
this sounds similar, this sounds similar, this sounds similar.
Okay, so let's start with the one. Yeah,
Yeah.
insurance, when we're gonna pay it to what's paying us.
Yeah.
So 2,600.
3606.
We just highlight the one.
There's no way
I
that.
didn't say anything.
Oh, there you go.
Inspection.
There's the kicker.
Dropped $1,000.
We were all like, we were all like.
Maybe it's because of every 2 years you did it.
But that's fine.
Start that person, one
Other
other
things,
thing.
well, one person, others, you might actually get further.
Once a month,
What-
one time.
Yeah, this maybe like.
I-
6 months.
We just wanna make sure that we're all understanding.
If we all do.
That's fine, yeah, that's gonna be monthly.
Okay, but I mean, you gotta be invitation.
2,500, 2,900.
We got
25, 24 minutes.
Fixed cost. My logic is the numbers haven't altered that much. We figured it's gonna be a fixed cost.
He's on He's done it.
Whereas if things seem to
I
double a little
say
bit,
you do, 20.
transition, maybe it was every other year.
Yeah.
Maybe.
1547.
Cameron, are you asking me a question or are you just making a statement?
A statement to potentially concur with or.
That was our.
So do you have a question?
And then water and sewer.
It is.
You can just go with the second one, 40,000.
That, do we start over? Can we, start the clock?
And stuff.
We cannot. We cannot.
I have a question.
Tell me to see it.
What are you working on? What are you working on?
I'm gonna take that.
And this is 138,
Oh,
And
cool.
you drag it.
What is your assignment?
Drag it.
I don't know, is that what I said? What was the assignment?
And then you cop.
12-month
You can't
projected,
Yeah, you can.
operating
Right, yeah,
expenses.
right.
Okay,
But so I'm gonna have to do it.
think about that.
But you're different from it.
No, I know.
And
So why do this? What else?
Presentation. What I want to discuss.
Here, why I do this, is there any other info items we missed from the 26th?
What is your,
Did we go back over the?
what is your challenge? I'm gonna ask you the same thing I just told Melinda. What is it you have to prepare here?
12-month projected operating.
I said operating statement or?
12 months operating statement.
operating
Exactly.
statement.
Statement.
Version. So he doesn't care what
You don't care about info? Is there any other?
I gave you a rep, you don't have to worry about it.
do you want me to read it?
Dylan's just driving, we have problems.
Just kind of check it. Yeah, that was right.
It's just either or.
I don't see that though.
Okay.
21 minutes.
I mean, look at them and tag whichever ones,
Yeah, I went through.
mark each one and say, hey, this one, fix the shot, this one.
I'm gonna, I'm just gonna do this. You can think about what you want.
Landscaping contract.
Think of what you want.
Landscaping is
Landscaping. That's on the first page. Landscaping contract. Landscaping contract.
So you're saying that's ending?
I mean, I'm saying that,
You were talking
that's gonna
about
happen
it.
again. I mean, there's no way around it, that, there's no adjustments to it.
No, I'm saying.
I could drag her.
When that happens.
21
It's
minutes.
a whole extra clip.
And when the clock is up, the clock is off. Highlight.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying, I just, I need you to agree or disagree.
No, you call the shot.
Once they get this company, we're gonna have.
What would it be the same? Would it be the
So we're gonna assume unfortunately.
What do you have for totals from?
This is the last.
Should be 10, 4, 10, 10, 6, whatever. HVAC contract. 10, 4, 10.
Where is it? Anything else, Jim?
The HVAC. That's
And it's an easy way to say it, too.
Alright, so.
That's good.
You wanna know percentage?
If it wasn't, I didn't focus on that, but, I mean, what do you think you would do if you would see the situation?
I gotta do this.
The totals that I told you, the totals you work with, right?
You could see.
Or the totals are these. Come on, somewhere. You don't have a lot of time, you have 17, 16 minutes. And you will need to send it in, whatever you have.
So when are you being
I don't need the model, well, whatever you do, whatever you want.
Yeah. But then,
You can do whatever you want. So, so really on the subject here, excuse me.
Gives us the wrong language. Understand? So we gotta guess this.
Yeah, we
Good number, yes.
I have this number.
What's this number times two? Times one, whatever.
Where you want. Right there. Where amounts would have been like an hour ago.
I have the
Okay, so
map,
when-
I don't have the
When
USB.
are we paying? So this-
15
Let's
minutes.
assume that we think it's definitely not gonna go up.
So the same, this one, you're paying this on January, is that?
Alright, so you wanna go categories or all?
I think you could do this as a category of what
Looks like it was not.
percentage of all.
2013, so we have a year, I mean, we did it every other year.
That's what I want.
We could budget
I have to have a budget.
yeah, we can say that's,
It's not something I don't know.
yeah.
Nothing might have gone on.
Get that one.
Huh?
Get that, okay, take that one.
Nicola, I'm gonna steal a paper from you.
I mean, it's really isolated.
Really, add some, just add some space.
No, let's leave it alone. And let's put it on. Let's do it quarter. So what's it divided by four?
We do need to figure out how we're gonna present this, and I'm
66.
starting with five.
Huh?
$66.
No, it's not. Take one something.
Yeah.
So we pay that January.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought it was ladies' friends. I'm just kidding.
In July. And October.
Yep. I'm gonna try to do,
So those key dates, like that you used to have for you, what's another?
And the income.
is that enough for a line?
Yeah.
That's the one you did.
71 to 39, so average 57.
Like below it?
So this one is inspection one, two, and then one. Just put that in the beginning.
Okay, what can we do?
Or pass it along with the maintenance and inspection.
HD facilities. This is
The only other thing we could do if we had the time
I think if they just
earlier, which one can we control?
budget and.
If we could do a controllable amount.
I mean,
So looking at it.
bar number.
But if we did that, I would say
for a
that I
month.
would go for you.
13 minutes.
How much?
13.
Yeah, I think that's kind of.
Here, here, let's look at this.
And if you tell me that, I can,
Okay, so
6,042 flyers.
I would say just the average.
Yep.
We're not gonna allow which ones to change.
CAD, paying for
We did the elevator now.
license or permit, office supplies.
it's an overhead cost, so it's, you can control it by, not printing as much, ordering
Our
those.
taxes we increase.
It might be higher than just purchase the first.
Yes. You can go with another service.
Additional services.
No.
No, I think that's actually.
Additional services.
We asked
this
question.
Just did.
Can I ask you another question? You might. You just
You did ask me.
You asked first.
The light went off.
We'll keep our maintenance to that quarterly.
What's this quarterly?
We also have.
What's 56 quarterly?
Is the definition of controllable something that would be
1040.
excess, like you do without it, or is it controllable?
So we'll take our elevator and
So I'm thinking,
HVAC.
well, controllable was a term that Andrew used. Andrew's not an accountant.
I don't understand.
So I've heard of
One year.
fixed versus variable.
And the next.
I've never heard of controllable versus
And they made it have
non-controllable.
that.
I think from a conceptual perspective
Yeah, that's
now,
why I was.
could
yeah,
you,
that's-
you could.
Analyze everything and go, oh, well, then we just won't do that.
You could, but I mean, you've got 11 minutes. Figure out what you want to do. You got 11 minutes,
Yeah,
gentlemen.
sheet you highlighted. So I write down.
11 minutes.
Which one's it?
Yeah. You gotta add them all up.
I was gonna say taxes.
You can write that one.
You can leave that in there.
to a graph. See?
Not on, not without the mouse. And about 10 minutes.
Was it exactly 10%?
Is there a complete function?
What's the, professor, for the static money sign, isn't it F7?
Static money sign.
The money sign that keeps the cell static.
Well, there's different, you're talking about whether you're fixing up,
Yeah.
but it could be relative to the column. So you could do F4 if you want it to be the same one all the time.
All the time?
It's because it's dollar sign and dollar sign.
Yeah.
But if you do only on one or the other, I only ever fix it when I'm fixing it on a cell.
Okay.
I don't use it.
You don't spread it.
No, where you could, it's fixed variably this way or variably this way.
Okay.
But I don't use that one, so I don't know.
Is it easy way?
No.
T-minus 9 minutes. In 9 minutes, I expect a file. If I don't have a file at 4 o'clock in the referenced email address, you get a 0. You get a 0.
No, it's gonna change.
JB San Miguel at. So one of you guys could already like
Get the email.
get your email ready. I need it at before 4 o'clock. Gmail time. JB San Miguel at gmail.com. So I need a file so I can grade it in front of everybody, publicly. It's great when you go to a client and they rip you in front of everybody. You go to like a public commission hearing and like, you're a dog, you're slime, and everybody's hearing it and you're just like,
We said that for,
I jumbled things up to make it more confusing.
10-4-10. And 903 for the month.
You sure you didn't care about the lead year?
I did what?
I did that too.
The what?
I had a lead year, because there for 4 years. And it was guaranteed that you're gonna go through at least a 4-year loop there, so I accounted for that.
Oh, God.
No, not the only one.
No, when you said it, I.
How can we negotiate a little more time?
You can because, I mean, you got an hour and 15 minutes.
I don't.
You said everything is negotiable though.
I can't, because we got it ready.
Cool.
Get that email ready, you forward it right from Marilyn, I'll have it.
The only thing we can do is.
Only 1 year they pay for something.
Sanders, I mean Saunders. What are you doing?
Signage was 918, yeah, and they didn't pay for the paperwork.
I just want to have that.
Should I drag that out?
I mean, I clicked that
Right
one.
now, we have.
Slide a couple minutes or right there.
Alright, are we doing these? That is something, is that,
Okay.
give me an answer.
You just said the expense. The expenses at the end, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you.
Out of the box.
I'm not,
So our logic is on the ones that didn't vary, assume that 2014 is constant. And we found out by doing the averages between that and 3%.
I mean, the number.
No, quarterly we only did for maintenance for HVAC and others.
My dear friends, you have 5 minutes. I would start putting a bow on it. I would start putting a bow on it because you don't want to run the risk of getting to 0. At 4 o'clock, sealed bids are required at 4 o'clock. No late bids will be admitted or accepted or considered for a grade.
Alright, save that to a mail and then you keep that in if you have a second.
No further questions will be answered after 1 minute from now. And all sealed bids are due at 4 p.m. at the referenced email. Late bids will not be accepted or considered for the process.
Well, how much time?
So we have to have our name.
Start putting a bow on it.
I don't think so.
Start putting a bow on it.
Send it. Okay.
Not fix the cost. To some degree, people that are operating, you can't cut that so much.
My classmates will be presenting.
That's your wall right there.
Yep. And so, keep those, keep one, keep those.
I'm not answering any more questions.
Yeah, track them.
The public question and answer session is over. You now have 3 minutes before final bids are to be submitted. Okay, this is your submission.
How many minutes?
And get the corner of it?
Okay. I think what I can do, here, let me, I'll make a list of the things that I apologize for that.
That work? Yeah, it works.
Explain everything on the side and he'll go through. So I'm gonna start on Wednesday. So we highlighted here is the month by month costs. The cost per square foot, the percentage total cost, each line item is. Yeah. Yeah. He's gonna.
Save as.
Yeah.
You save that? You have it. It's my side.
Let this serve as a final warning that bids are due in 90 seconds or they will not be accepted.
No, it's the other one.
Bids are due in 90 seconds or they will not be accepted.
You know what that translates to? Month.
Save as. Save as. What was it saying? File? Okay, save as.
Oh, that makes sense. I was so nervous about this. Yeah.
Save it.
So it's not email, but I'm gonna go and see.
It's JB.
What's his email?
JB.
JB what?
SAN.
S-A-N. S-J-B, S-A-N.
At gmail.com.
Ah.
He said, no?
That's it.
And manage it.
10 seconds.
We can put a
It
name
says
on it.
359.
Yeah, that really should get online.
Oh. We just didn't put our name on it.
But it's fine.
Okay, class.
This is too much stress.
It's life.
It's stressful.
Okay, class. Get back to your seats. Get back to your seats. Actually, you know what? Stay together in your groups. Is Nicola coming back?
Yeah, she took a break.
She took a break. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I know.
It now being 4 o'clock, the Township of San Miguel is convening its city council meeting, and it's going to consider the operating expense budgets that have been submitted for the subsequent year. We have our bailiff here who's going to arrest people if you misbehave. So, Mr. Town Clerk Secretary, can you please open the sealed bids? Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. We have a bid here from Shell Op Expense Budget. We don't know who that is.
That's us, that's our LLC.
Bid disqualified. Open up the next one. 12M Budget. Who's this? Disqualified. Reed Jackson Blue.
Here. Present.
Okay, we'll go over your presentation. It's been submitted in time. Group Robert Dylan Juan. Present. We'll go over your presentation, which has been submitted in time. Do we have any other pretenders in the audience? Do we have any other pretenders? Gentlemen, did you submit a presentation?
We did.
Well, shut up.
We put out ours as
That's-
Team Awesome,
That's on.
which should obviously be this team.
The file name said 12M.
Well, in the email that we submitted.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. 0. Okay, how many times I tell you guys? Do you know, Nicola, to your point, you know the thing that upsets me the most is when I get emails. Imagine if every email file I graded said San Miguel settlement statement on it. Who would I know it came from? Gentlemen, ladies, label your files so people know where it's coming from. Okay, so, can I make some observation on group work habits? May I? May I? Constructive. You got 3 guys, you have 1 hour and 15 minutes. Multiply it by 3 people. You guys have 4 hours to do this work. But if 3 of you are sitting around watching one work, you only have 1 hour and 15 minutes. If you divide the workload in some sort of coherent fashion, you can multiply the effort, right? It's one of the problems we have with our construction industry. How many guys does it take to change a stop sign?
1 to
6. 1 to do it, and 5 to watch. It's like, how many Florida Gators does it take to change a light bulb?
1 to 9.
What? No, 1, but he gets 3 credit hours for it. You like that one, right? So, okay, these are old jokes, but guys, divide the effort. Divide the effort. Take the available man or woman hours and distribute them in an equitable fashion, right? That's one way to work. So, for example, can you strip a spreadsheet? You might be able to. You might have had somebody inputting data, somebody else creating the shell of what you would do with the data, and somebody thinking through how they were going to forecast the expenses. That's one example. Another example is one person is calling numbers out, the other one is inputting data, and the third one is preparing a presentation. So, while all this was going on, somebody could have put together a PowerPoint with a team name, with a picture of a building, with a picture of their awesome team members, you know, whatever. Somebody could have gone and pulled up industry data and said, well, I know we're going to budget what this building should be, but maybe what do other buildings in the area look like? How do we know the answer we're going to submit is appropriate, right? Let's do the reality check. Can commissions on a $20 million building be $20 million? No. Can it be $2 million? Only if there's a crook involved. Okay? Only if there's a politician involved. So, you know, right? So, distribute the workload. Find a way to maximize the available time that you have and the resources that you have. Label your files. This has nothing to do with the presentation, but I'm going to mention it anyway. Group Robert, Dylan, and Juan. This is your file, right?
Yes.
This is where you want me to start reading it? What is this?
You have,
Does it have a heading?
You have an updated one in here.
Yeah, you have an updated. There was a revision attached to it.
With the heading. With the heading. Sorry, 401.
I didn't accept that. So, no heading. Is there a conclusion here? Where's the total?
At the bottom. In bold.
Where's the total by category?
Bottom.
At the bottom.
By category.
Bottom.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, it's a lot of numbers.
Well, there is one on 2014. Each one has a total.
Okay, let me go to another one here. Mr. Team M12. Is this where you want me to start reviewing?
It's Team Awesome. No, on the top.
Do you want me to do you want me to keep these windows?
What windows? Yeah, no, we liked it locked. We wanted to start at the bottom, which was the 12 months totaling, and then work our way up.
So, what building is this?
It's not on there.
Not on there. What's the address?
Not on there.
Can I see this all in one sheet? Kind of hard. Okay. Okay, let's go to this one. Month to month. January through December. January through December. Monthly forecast of expenses. While we're on that, you guys are saying, we did it monthly, right? We did it monthly, right? We did it monthly, right? You guys did it monthly? So you're smarter than the other group, right? Did you divide by 12?
Yes.
Are all expenses incurred evenly throughout the year? What's one of the largest expenses you're going to incur in this building? Electricity. Let's go through electricity for a second. Electricity for a second. Is electricity spent the same in August as it is in December in South Florida?
No.
Should we have forecasted evenly?
No.
Don't we have to build in seasonality into what we're doing? Now let's talk about property taxes. But we're talking about property taxes. Did we take a look at what the purchase price was? Did we adjust property taxes for the previous year to compensate for a transaction? Did anybody go to the property assessor's website and see what the millage rate was in Dade County? Or go to Coral Gables and figure out what a building that cost $20 million would pay in property taxes? Or did we just take the previous year? What have we said at least 3 times here today? What are the items that need to be adjusted for sure in a budget? Property taxes?
Insurance.
Insurance, right? And then anything else that we may manage differently. Let me ask you a question. I gave you 3 assumptions. 3 assumptions. Purchase price, revenues, and I asked to assume a market property management fee. What is a market property management fee?
4% of gross revenue. 4% of gross revenue.
You guys are ripping off the clients, but if you get away with it, I want part of that.
All right.
Good for you? Wrong. But if you can get it, great. That's not market. What's market?
What we found was 3%.
That's probably high. But that's a number. At least you found a number. Did you adjust for this? Did your property management fees come up to 3% of $2.6 million? Less a credit loss? No. Did we account for that? What are market property management fees? I'd say they're probably 2 to 2.5%. Okay, if you can get more, you either have a partner that's not informed, or you have a partner that's willing to give you more than market. Because what happens is an extra 1.5 is going to impact operating expenses. It starts putting you out of market, right? You need to be somewhere where the market is. Okay, let me start with this group right here. Where do these numbers come from? Where do these numbers come from?
At the very top.
All these numbers. Where do they come from?
Those are numbers based on the years prior that have been adjusted for.
Based on what?
Based on.
How do I review it? How do I review it? How does this compare to the previous year?
There are increases based on the previous year.
Where do I see that calculated? Where do I see that calculated? I just see numbers hard-coded.
Unfortunately, we did the formulas in the cell.
Well, I see numbers just here. 107,719.69. Where does that come from?
Some of the numbers were maintained, not all of them were changed.
Okay, but hold on a second. Guys, I need everybody to listen. Hey, we're here to learn, okay? We're here to learn, and we can learn from everybody else's mistakes. So I'm grading this, but for the benefit of everybody. You kept some of the expenses constant. Why would you do that?
Because some of them we assumed were contracts that weren't what would change from year to year.
Okay. My recommendation would be that you should always, what did we talk about? One of the assumptions was with operating expenses, always have a cost of living increase. Unfortunately, it is unrealistic to assume that expenses will not increase year to year, generally across the board. You may have the odd expense that doesn't, but generally it is unrealistic. It's something called inflation. So, yeah, we'd like to hold expense, we'd like to drop them, but realistically, most service agreements have some sort of cost increase, or COLA, or cost of living, or inflation adjustment associated with them, or you're just going to get a notice saying, hey, effective January 1, your new rate is, boom. Now, let me keep going while we're on that thought, because I'm hot on that thought, right? Oof. Is that a calculation inside a cell? You want me to make that big? Oh, it doesn't blow this up, unfortunately. That looks like a number with a... What did I say earlier today? So what happens if all of a sudden you want to change your inflation assumptions, Nicola? You have to go cell by cell and figure out where you have that number, right? Whereas if you had just input all of 1 year's numbers, right? And put an inflation number and multiplied everything by 1 plus whatever that cell was, you can change that number and do what? Change everything, right?
Yes.
Plus somebody reviewing it could easily see that, right? You want me to beat up on somebody else's for a little bit? You want more? Okay. Gentlemen, how much, what are these stupid lines here? What the hell is that? Hold on. What is that? Hold on. What is that?
I could not get rid of them
You mean,
for nothing.
You know what a delete button is?
I tried everything but that.
Well, if you want to delete something, why don't you try the delete button and it might make it go
I thought it
away.
was a border.
Then you
Or
Is this guy hitting border like this?
Oh,
Damn.
that's because you like standing behind right now.
Can you please explain to me what exterminating is?
Hey, we were pressed for time, all right? We had to just get those in there. Can you not blow that up though?
Exterminating.
That's a mix between exterminating and sharing.
Okay, so let me ask you guys a question. Generally, I mean, what is this growth column here? What is that there for?
Well, it's not, it's just the difference between
change.
year 2012 and 2013.
When you say it's a difference, is that, what's that percentage there? What does that mean? Because I see a dollar sign there.
No,
Can you go up a little bit?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's an 8. Can I blow this up? Yes. Okay, so what does this mean?
that it,
That the expense decreased
by 85%.
85%. Okay, and so how did you forecast this year?
That was an issue with that one.
So,
With the
I mean,
large-
I haven't even gone to the cell here, but,
No, essentially, we took an approach where we dropped it another.
so hold on a second, hold on a second. Hold on a second. So what you're telling me,
We predicted.
what you're telling me is that you predicted that the exact percentage difference that you had from 2012 to 2013 was going to replicate itself in the same fashion in 2014?
It was just a basic assumption.
Does that sound, I mean, now that I'm questioning that, do you think that that would be an appropriate way to do that?
Not necessarily.
No,
But given
so-
the time and the fact that we're not necessarily accountants, it was the best we could come up
Okay,
with.
but you're trying to buy this building. You're trying to buy this building. And so, my question to you, and by the way, how come you don't have, for all the line items, numbers forecasted for this year?
Well, some are headings, that's why.
Well, but bank service charges,
Yeah.
you don't have any bank service charges forecasted. You find a bank that's not going to charge you anything?
Yeah.
It was just really difficult to
The
find.
Saunders Bank, you guys think of the deal.
Well, I mean, in the worst of cases, you're going to have a bank, you know, you don't have a lot of activity. Psst, pay attention, listen, what's a bank going to cost you? I mean, throw a number on it. Yeah,
$7.58.
it cost me, it's at $7 and I made $500 worth of interest. So, you know, I could just say to be conservative, hey, I'm going to spend $25 a month on a bank. I'm going to spend $50 a month on a bank. But to assume you're not going to expend anything, it's not a material number, okay, but it's the concept, right? If history doesn't give you the right answer, can I intuitively come up with something, right? Because ultimately, the real test comes here. What did you calculate per square foot? Well, how much is this building costing you per square foot?
We didn't come up with a calculation for
Well,
that.
then how do you know this is right? So,
The calculations are correct.
how do you know?
Because we put it in Excel.
Oh, so it must be right.
We can double check all of them as well.
It must be right. Alex is, well, I haven't even gotten to yours yet, man. Okay, hold on. Do you want me to show you how to get rid of the underline again? If you hit the, hold on, delete button. Good proof, magic. Okay, so if I were to just, for example, maybe I'll do it for you guys, right? So you're telling me that you're, okay, well, can't go, can't be like that. Can't be that much. So you're telling me that you think in total, this building should cost $1.5 million. How many square feet are there in this building? Do you even know? We went through this last week. The same building we've been working on.
500.
106, 500.
That's because Elisa told you. How does she know?
We told her.
You told, no, I told her. because they asked. So $14.91 a square foot. How much did it cost to operate last year? Did you calculate it?
No, sir.
So how do we know if we're in the ballpark? 1.2 what?
1,200,000.
No, per square foot.
Oh.
I mean, so, listen, I do control totals for everything, right? So, the first thing that I would have done, guys, talking about control.
1165.
I'm sorry?
Is that 1165 per square foot?
It cost $11.65. How does that come up? Somebody give me a number. I sent you guys a spreadsheet with the numbers. What's the total of operating expenses for the year ended December 31, 2013? I sent it to you on Tuesday.
240,800.
No, what's the...
1,000,000.
1,240,000. Did the square footage change from one year to another?
Unless they re-measured it.
Let's say they didn't remeasure. So last year it was 1174 square foot, and the year before was how much?
1,236,429.
Oh, first one.
So the year before was 1160. So last year was 1,240,000. The year before was 1,236,000. This year you're 1,006,000. Gentlemen, thank you for bidding. You're way too expensive for me. I can't hire you as a property management firm because my tenants aren't going to pay another $3 because you guys don't know how to forecast.
Well, if you give us
You know what you pay for, you know?
if you give us
Premium service over here.
yeah, we're the best at it.
Hey, listen, I want the best at the lowest cost. Okay, but do you guys understand why it's important to look at history, right? So, if we were at 1160 and 1170, we can't be at 1491, can we? I mean,
There is.
now, you didn't revalue the building for real property taxes, did you? No. You didn't have any significant changes in cost of insurance, did you?
No, sir.
Did you properly account for property management fees?
No, sir.
Okay, so assuming that you used whatever structure they had the previous year, the most you should be is like another 3% over that, so like, you know, maybe right at $12.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It looks different.
Wait a minute.
We got $12 back
You
here.
have $12 back.
Wait, you guys only have months. You don't, I don't even know where your numbers come from. Okay. Hey, so and in the last, did we look at BOMA or anything? Did we look at what other, like, did we go to all the other acquisitions we've done? Or all the other buildings we managed to see what our expenses are?
We were just about to do that.
Okay, but you saw how Andrew did that this morning, right? What did he go to? He went to his database, right? Not only the buildings they manage, but all the other deals he's looked at in the marketplace. So now he's got history for the building, history for comparable buildings, history for buildings they manage. Now he's going to see how he can start triangulating to numbers that make sense, right? So you guys like looked at me when I gave you the assignment and said, how do we forecast expenses? Look at all the information that you have. You have 2 years worth of historicals, right? You've got computers where you can go and check what other buildings have, right? And then all of a sudden you could say, $15 for a Class B office building in Coral Gables? Nah, no way. No way, I'm out of line. My assumptions are wrong, okay? I won't get into the formatting with you guys. I'll get on another spreadsheet with that one. Let's talk to the Mr. Group of Shell operating expenses here.
We didn't finish,
Okay, well,
so we didn't tell.
okay, where do these numbers come from?
We hid the two columns there where we took.
You hid columns. Okay, so let's unhide the columns. What is this column that doesn't have a heading?
2012.
How do you know that?
We missed that.
What's the other column?
2013.
How do you know that?
Missed
it's that.
So, and how do you know that those are the totals that I gave you? Did you check? Did you sum these? Did you sum these?